All right, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of the Proptech Genius Show. Lillian, I am good at butcher say your last name. I'm sorry.
Nanyunja.
Nanyunja. See, I was gonna say that, but then and we spent all this time and I forgot to ask you. I'm the world's worst podcast host. I just
Acceptable. Very many people still can't pronounce my name. So
Oh yeah. Well, my last name is Paul Vito, and people butcher that all the time too. So we're in the same company. Is it Polvado? Is it 11 gig? Yeah, it's close enough. It's fine. It's all good.
yeah.
Very cool. Well, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you. This is very, very cool. And, as you're my very first guest from Uganda, so I'm all excited and we get to talk about all the things that's happening in Uganda as far as Proptech goes and what you're doing. And it's super cool that you're leading the charge over there. So it'd be awesome. So I don't need to tell anybody. You can tell everybody who you are, what you're doing, and we'll just kind of get into the interview.
Yeah. It's very nice to be here. I'm very, very excited, and you're doing a very, very good job and connecting everyone in Protech and different industries. It's been exciting watching your show and reading all your articles. It's been very, very, very exciting.
Thank you.
So, yes, I got interested the moment I saw how busy you've been and the buzz that has been going on and everything about Protech. And being that in Uganda, we're not yet there as much. So the rest of the world is moving so fast and we seem to be lagging behind. So we're trying to catch up with everything that is happening. So we've had some correspondences, we've had some guidance from different companies, visits. So it's been a bit exciting. So currently I work with a company called National Housing in Uganda. So it's the leading estate developer in Uganda. We construct most of the houses. It's not social housing, it's for profit mainly. But we construct most of the houses in Uganda. So it's exciting to also see different people. So we deal with different people in the banks doing mortgages. We deal with the high class people who are buying very expensive houses, middle class people. So it is a mix of different people. And I also work with the Real Estate Institute of East Africa. I sit on their board. Yeah, so as for real estate, we didn't have it well governed in Uganda. So we are just trying to make sure the laws are applicable, what is happening in different countries, and is coming here. I've been working very, very closely with Alina for most of the knowledge that she's bringing our side. Yes.
That lady is super awesome. Alina Ebby, I am so thankful she's on our board of directors at the council. Because that woman is, talk about a trailblazer. She is a super, super cool lady. And she has this, and it kind of turned into, but she really has this international outreach and she's really trying to just help. I mean, that woman is just super cool. Yeah,
yes. So she comes in with a lot of energy and she's very helpful. She guides, she knows when you need to do something and where you can get something. So
yes.
Yeah, so she's still my hero.
Oh yes, she's my hero. I mean, she is, and so she started the Silicon Valley Proptech Association before I even started the U.S. Proptech Council. But she saw a need internationally pretty early on, and she and felt like that was kind of her calling, and it's awesome because it's so true. I mean, like I say, real estate is very local, but Proptech is global. The technologies that everybody faces pretty much the same problems, right?
Yeah.
You got to build something, you got to maintain it, you got to get tenants or owners to buy it. It's generally the same thing. Now there's different codes and regulations and different ways to build things and different ways to maintain things, but still it's this overall, it's the same.
Yes.
Right. It's the same problem for sure. No matter where you are.
Yeah. And yes, we've actually we actually have now a memorandum of understanding with Silicon Valley so they're going to be doing something in Uganda as well, which is super exciting as well. So she's going to be coming, and there'll be a lot of training, and people are going to get to know more about what's happening and how we can deal with certain standards in the world. So with NR coming on board, we have IRM coming on board, so it's going to be super exciting.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I would love to connect you with the NAR Reach program, because what they do is and Alina might be already doing that, but they help the Proptech associations with funding and different things like that. And they have a Reach program in, say, Australia and in Israel and in different parts of the world. But it's all focused on the realtor kind of because that's generally where you need to start. If you're going to build structure, you build structure on the transactional process of how real estate is bought and sold. You start there, right? And then you can build past that point. Once you've kind of got that kind of squared away, then you can build on the other PropTech part of it. But no, for sure. And yeah, no, it's super exciting to see how the industry grows and how everything's kind of evolving. And I'm so glad I'm in the PropTech industry, because it is, you know, it's changing super fast, and it's exciting to see, for sure.
It's very, very exciting. So with that coming on board, we have a lot that is happening in Uganda. Well, there's a lot of room for expansion, expansion and growth. And yes, investors have been coming in left, right, and center. So it is one of those countries that is growing so fast. But also when it comes to real estate, it's just picking up so fast. And then with the regulations coming in to help, it takes it to a different level. So yes, people are getting the profits, but there's also a lot of excitement that is happening when it comes to different platforms for housing, which we haven't been having. So it makes everything much easier. So yes, that's super exciting as well. So I've been learning a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And so you're building most of the housing. And so tell me about the changes of Uganda. So I mean, Africa is an exciting continent. Everybody gets super excited because they see the potential. And then, so Lagos, Nigeria is blowing up like crazy town, and it's getting, but that's just on the that's on the Western Africa side, right? And then you have the MENA region, which is getting really interesting. And then you're in East Africa. And so so is it population migration, or is it just, are y'all having a bunch of babies? I mean, you know, is it the population's growing, or what is the cause for the just economic growth there?
For start, okay. Well, with I think a few years back, Uganda would operate separately as Uganda, Kenya would operate separately, and Tanzania and Rwanda. But now we have the East African community. So most of the East African community members, all the East African countries are coming together, so that it's easier to trade, to invest, so that if I come from here, I don't really have to I don't have to look for work permit in Kenya. I don't have to suffer when I'm going to Kenya. So it makes it easier. So that has been happening. So we have trademark that has come on board. So very many regulations that have come on board, and we've had a lot of help from different societies as well to make us, to help us grow and get into what we are. But I think the connection within the African countries has been a very, very huge help, because it makes it easy that if I'm running something in Uganda, then I can easily run it to Kenya. I can easily replicate the same thing in Rwanda, and then move on to the rest of the continent. So it makes it easy, and it makes it, even for the investors, it makes it very easy. So most of the rules that will apply in Uganda will apply in Kenya. So it moving makes it exciting.
Yeah, it's so amazing what that does for an economy, right? I mean, that's just that's so smart. Like, that's like what the EU, why they did what they did. I mean, way back in the day, why they created the EU, right? And so that it kind of, that is super interesting for sure. So, yeah, and then so you're not fighting, like the hardest part about Europe is there's so many different languages. You have to worry about like Do I speak Spanish? Do I speak Portuguese? Do I speak German? Do I speak whatever, whatever, Russian, Ukrainian, whatever. But in mostly I understand in Africa, it's either English or French. Is that right? In Africa?
Yes, because of the colonization, yes, it was English and French mainly.
Yeah.
But right now, even because of well, within East Africa or Africa, it's very easy because everyone will be able to speak English.
English.
The countries that were mainly colonized by the French, say Rwanda, Congo, they will speak more French, but then they will easily integrate into English.
Okay.
But then within the East African community as well, okay, people speak Swahili,
Okay.
but English cuts across within East Africa and Africa. So it makes it easy even for transactions. So most of the documents, you don't have to worry that they are in French or in Swahili or in Luganda or Zulu. No, everything will be in English.
Well, it makes it easy for us Americans who don't know many languages.
Yes, yeah.
We're so spoiled over here. I mean, like, no joke. I mean, I talk to my European friends and they know like 7 languages, and I'm like, that would break my brain. I don't know how to learn 7 languages. I don't.
I think it's easier when you get it when you're young. I think it's easier when you're young, and if you've moved from one location to the next for some time. For example, within Uganda, I have lived in different regions, so it's easy to learn their languages if you've lived with them. Yeah. So even a little bit of Swahili makes it easy because if you've been to Kenya, if you've been to Tanzania, it's easier to incorporate their language and to speak with them. So so it just somehow it's what do they usually say? If you go to France, you behave like the French. Sure. So you easily
I have never been to Africa, but I would love to go. So I'll have to save my pennies.
Please.
I know, save my pennies.
You should come. I think Alina should be here. I think December, November. You should just hop and come with her.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna hop into Alina's suitcase and I'm just gonna go. Yeah, there you go. No, maybe I'd love to go with Alina. She's just a great lady for sure.
Yeah, it would be very nice, but also it would add a big difference to even what's happening and what you're doing. Most of the times when I post what you post and it's US, everyone is like, but it's for the US. And I'm like, no, it's applying everywhere. Exactly. It's just because the founder is that side and then it's that, but then it makes you more international so you can join. So there's been a bit of hesitation, but I think people eventually get there. And then with a lot of, when we look at Proptech taking over, now you're seeing Proptech Africa, London, Proptech Africa, US, Proptech. So there's a lot of, it's mainly, I think the Nigerians moved faster than we did, but eventually we catch up. Eventually we catch up, and we need lots of hands. We need a lot of help to make it happen and to be able to get to the same standard or to be able to have the same applications that we have here and then that we can have in the US and the rest of the continent. So we've taken on when we start learning, like previously I was explaining for our real estate, when you get your papers, well, it's not like I need a paper to be able to practice or to sell a house or to practice anything. Yeah, I can just do it. So that has been part of the agenda for there's an institution called Area. So they've been trying to make sure that the laws are intact so that not everyone can sell a property, not everyone can get commission. How do you get your commission? How do you regulate your commission? So that has been there. So we've been a little bit behind, but then when we get NR on board and get IRM on board, then you're learning certain standards. So you start applying them this side so that we can also practice when we come, because there are very many Africans who are in the diaspora who are buying property. There are people who are in Uganda who are buying property in the US. But then if I sell property in if I told someone in Uganda to buy property in the US, I'm not entitled to that commission. So
Yeah, I know. It's very difficult.
Unless someone just feels sorry for you and says, you know what, I'll give you
I'll just
something.
throw you some money. Yeah,
But
I know.
then when you learn, then you know how to practice, you know what is right, and you know how to make it stable. So
no, I feel you. Yeah, for sure. And just setting any sort of structure up, it's helpful. Like it just helps it, and it's super helpful for, you know, economic development too. Like once you get the structure and people know what the rules of the game are, then you can operate in those rules, and then everybody wins. I mean, that's the whole goal. I think, and for everybody, that's what I tell everyone is like, so we're setting up an international meeting in September in London for all the Proptech associations to come together. So we will in September have that meeting, and in the goal of, yes, let's talk about international, you know, commercialization of Proptech, or what are we facing internationally that we can kind of as a group say, hey, let's try to do this, or whatever it might be. Like if I'm doing something in the US and you want to do it in Uganda, here you go. Here, like just take it and run with it, right? My whole university program that I'm creating for this fall, I borrowed it from Proptech Malaysia. Daniela Gambaro gave it to me. And I was like, yes, I'd love to do that. All right, like tell me what I need to do. Yes, I'll run, right? And so
all you had to do was plug in and
exactly. So he gave me the handbook, and I just took it and ran with it. So I think should be more of that. Like, so I'll give you whatever we have and show you what we're doing, and then if you can create that in Uganda, great. I mean, I think that's the way we should be as Proptech associations, because at the end of the day, we're really just trying to further the industry. And then the space program, I stole that from European Proptech Association. Dirk Pelnick gave it to me. And so I was like, oh yes, I want to do that here. NASA is in Houston. Let's go. I can do this. So I mean, but I think there needs to be more of that, more collaboration around the world. And I think, but that's the US Proptech Council, while it's US, because I'm trying to help the US, but I think it had very international. Alina obviously gets it, right? It's very international, but if I can help y'all in any way, any program you see, then I'll just have it. You know, it's great. And so super, super cool that I like just to see the industry grow all around the world. I think it's great. And I think Africa, you're at like kind of the precipice of a really, you know, you're going through a big upheaval and a big change, and you know, and it's tough, it's hard, but it's exciting because you can do some really fun and cool things and be very impactful.
I think once you get it the first time, it's of course it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult to set. It's going to be difficult to regulate. It's too difficult to even for the government to buy in. But eventually they notice this is important. It's what is required. And eventually it becomes part of the standards, and it has to be done. Then once you have set a certain once you've done footsteps and you have taken your baby steps and you've gone somewhere, by the time everyone is catching up, you're a bit 5 years ahead, and there is something.
Yeah, for sure. There is, I mean, there's a book called Category Kings, and there is a basically inherent barrier to entry for everybody else when you become the category king. Because like you've taken all the hard initiative, all the hard road to be the trailblazer, to go in and do all these different things. So that you get the benefits of doing that, right? Because you can now, everybody else is trying to catch up to you, right? And they go, oh, look at that, you know? No, but it's not easy. It's tough for sure.
No, it's not.
Yeah. So what's happening in Uganda right now, as far as, sorry for interrupting.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
So so you're obviously building a lot of housing. Is there like in the US, is there like a housing shortage in Uganda like there is here, or what's happening in Uganda?
Sorry, I lost you for a minute.
So in the US, there's a housing shortage. Are you facing the same? Is it in there as far as not enough housing? Are you facing that there in Uganda?
Yes, yes, it is. It's massive. The housing shortage is massive.
Yeah.
Would need a lot. Not even national housing can cover what we have.
Okay.
There's probably we can only cover 1% of what is needed within the country, and this is after even trying to get all the other real estate developers on board, because there are few houses that are constructed. Mainly construction has been taken on by individuals. So everyone wants to construct their own house, and everyone has seen a design, and everyone has this whole thing. But yes, we've moved away from having where people believe that I really have to have a bungalow and I'm within the city center. So yes, Skyrise has come up. We've been learning about the condominium now has taken up so fast. It was an issue because many people didn't understand, and up to now, not many people. There's a lot of sensitization that has to go on. Not very many people will understand the condominium. People still ask, how do I still own the property if I live on top of someone else? How does that work? This is supposed to be for only rental. So
Oh,
yes,
that's funny. That's
it's
interesting.
quite amusing, but yes, there's been a big change.
That's good.
But there's massive need for housing. There's massive need for affordable housing. Our mortgage rates are very high as well. So we are looking at 18% on the mortgage rate. Yes. So yeah, the fact that the mortgage rate is very high makes it very difficult for the real estate to develop, because then there are no people who are buying because people can't afford it.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to afford when
18%
the
is
mortgage is,
horrible.
yes, 18%, you have to pay for 20 years. By the time you're done, you're paying double. So it becomes and very few people actually qualify. So yes, there's need of a lot of funding, financing, cheap financing that has been, and this doesn't only apply for the mortgages that are residential. This also goes commercial, because even as a company, if you need to borrow, you're basically borrowing at the same rate, and it even becomes difficult if you're borrowing in dollars, because then you have to borrow at about 12–14%. And yes, by the time you're done with that, then you have to add the profits, you have to add a few other things, income for yourself. It's crazy. So it makes it difficult, but there's room for improvement. There hasn't been a lot of within East Africa or Africa, there hasn't been a lot of uptake when it comes to affordable housing. It's been something that you call it's silent. No one talks about it. No one wants to participate, but it's one of the biggest components that are there for investment. Yes.
So the government is not participating in any sort of loan state subsidy. They're not helping on the loan side. That would probably, I mean, that's why the US does so well, is because the government kind of helps, if that makes sense. Right. So you have Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, which are kind of quasi government entities. And that's why the loan rates can be lower, because the government kind of chips in a little, dough. So it's not, so it can be more stable. Even if interest rates are high, they can offer lower rates because the government is helping. Right.
I think it's mainly the government has come in mainly when it comes to agriculture. Yes, it's been one of the things that has been spiking, and one of the things that has been talked about, but that applies mainly, even the people in the rural areas would like to develop and would like to have proper housing. So yes, there hasn't been a lot of concentration when it comes to housing. It's been dull and not a lot of support that comes with it. So that one makes it a bit difficult. So different NGOs have come, there've been shelters that have come, there are non-profits that are around, but non-profit sustainable that have come on board to actually help with that smart cities that are being planned, but it's
Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult. So
You have
usually you have like churches, kingdoms that offer land and say
Mhm,
that, yeah, if you're going to come and do social work,
mhm.
help invest in housing, yes, come and we work, come and we'll give you land and
Yeah.
then we'll see how to work together. So yes.
Yeah. No, it's very difficult to do without government support. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
to have it all in the private market, yes. Can it be done? Yes, but it's
Mhm.
going to be more volatile because because real estate is so interest rate dependent. You know, I mean,
Yes.
it's like it moves with, and so it's so sensitive to the interest rates. So
Uh-huh.
if you don't have government support like that, it just makes it harder to
Yes.
navigate in that environment.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, you and I will just go up to the Capitol. Come on, we'll just go. Come on. And we'll go, hey, President of Uganda, we need to
Yes.
have a chat. You know,
We need to have a chat. We
we
need
need
to
to
make
have a
this
chat.
better. Yes.
Exactly. We need to have a
Yeah.
chat. We need to sit down and talk through this. Has anybody talk about constructing the buildings? Have you had any like 3D printing there yet, or any new construction technologies? How are you building the homes?
Well, there's been a bit would look at subsidizing technology, but like I said, a lot of sensitization is needed. If
Yeah,
someone hasn't traveled, even the ones who have traveled, still, we use brick and mortar
you
throughout.
basically important. Okay.
Yeah, so this is what happens if you use technology and someone is going, oh my God, are you sure this house will hold when there's a storm or so you literally have someone go and bang and say, oh, it's making noise. Are you sure this is brick and mortar? So there's already that mentality.
Oh, that's funny.
Yes. And so it
Um,
makes it already that takes it out. So you really have to explain to people that, yes, this can work. This has been tested and it
yeah,
can.
yeah.
But also, yes, because of the lack of sensitization,
Mhm.
when people come with different technology, people don't understand it.
Yeah,
So if you
yeah,
don't spend some money on sensitization, then you have a project fail.
sure.
And yet it should be cheaper, but then you have a project fail and
Because
you
they won't go move
because
into
you don't
it
want
or
to, yes, and
yeah.
sometimes there's frustration. So you have to be patient with the people
Mhm.
here. But
Yeah.
surprisingly, within I think the past 5, 7 years, there's been a lot of upset when people are looking for technology. They're looking for alternatives on how to construct. When
Right,
it comes to constructing hospitals, malls,
right,
shopping centers,
right.
offices, they
Mhm.
don't want to use brick and mortar. They
Right.
want to use something, they want to use cheaper technology because
Yeah.
that is not money that you're going to get back. You're not selling the property, you're going to just get rent out of it
Yes.
over a long period of time. So yes, there's been people trying to look for technology, but we haven't had a lot that has come in for
Well,
that particular
yeah.
time.
So maybe
Yeah.
we can help there because there's a
Yeah.
European group that actually is licensing the technology for contractors to do 3D printing of homes.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, so maybe I can help there. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be, their technology is very, very cool. They're not the construction company. They just
Mhm.
teach you how to use the technology and
Uh-huh.
you can build it yourself. So it's
Uh-huh.
really kind of really interesting. And
Mm.
so yeah, they're I'm gonna say Czechia, but I'm not, don't quote me. It could be Romania. It's over
You,
Eastern Europe over there somewhere. But and
yeah.
they're probably gonna like Amy. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I talked to a lot of people, okay? But yeah, but I know their name and I will definitely, but it would be super cool. They are actually now they've got it tested, it works. They're now looking for customers in different ways to build. So yeah, maybe that's a connection. Maybe that
That could be good. It
yeah,
could
so
work.
it could be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
they can build up to 3 stories and
Uh-huh.
all 3D printed. And they're in
Yeah.
you. So does Uganda have the natural resources for like what do you have to import? Do you have concrete cement? Do you have that naturally? Are you able to get that there, or do you have to
Yes.
import everything? Oh, no, you can't. Okay.
No, we can't get cement, we can't get clay, we can't, that is one thing that we are blessed with.
You have plenty of.
Yes, you can get
We
it.
got it, we got it. We're
If you
good.
want it, we're good. We don't need that. That we have, like
Yeah.
everything that we have.
Everything, everywhere.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
got you.
Mhm.
All right, well, that's good. And it makes it easy to 3D print stuff because you can build
Yes, it
out
does.
the polymers and then just have at it. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, no, I'll definitely connect you to those guys. They're really super. It's a new technology. Theirs is new. 3D printing is not new. Obviously in Austin, Icon has been around since 2017, so about 7 years, and they've developed their technology over time, and now they're 3D printing more and more homes in Austin. And so, and it's it's the coolest process. I'm telling you, they have this machine out there printing, and nobody's watching it. They're watching it on a computer sitting in an office, and they're building the home in a computer. It's sitting in an office somewhere. So,
I would, I would love to see that.
oh, it is crazy town. I'm telling you, I was in construction back at like since '03, and I was just like, shut the front door. I was like, because you're used to going to a job site and you have the crews all there and they're all working, and you have your
Yes.
superintendent and you have your job trailer and you have all the things to build the thing, and nobody's there. It's just a machine. It's out there building. And I'm just like, that is crazy town.
And that's quite interesting. It
Yeah.
would be something, especially when you look at expansion, not only in Uganda, but when you look at going to South Sudan, there are developers who want cheaper technology to take to a different country, because for them they are not going to buy. They're not going to buy brick and mortar. They want something that is cheaper. That's something that can come up quick. When we use brick and mortar, we basically take about 18 months or 36 months to get the construction up. So it's very hard.
Yeah.
So the construction cycle alone is long.
Yeah.
So
No,
you have to borrow for 3 years, 2 years.
Yeah.
Imagine when you have to pay back.
That's insane. So no, so the 3D printing, you pour the foundation, right? You go pour the foundation, and then the 3D printing is the wall system. So then what they'll do is you have your trusses ready for the roof, right? You can get it all dried in. So you pour the foundation, let it cure. You come do the 3D printing wall system. Then the trusses come. You can get pretty much dried in. They can do 4 houses a day.
Interesting.
4 houses a day.
Yeah.
Like if they're like 1,400 square foot, 3 bedroom, 2 bath houses, you can print 4 in a day, and you can dry it in a day. I'm just like, I was watching, I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And so, now that Icon's gotten to that point, they have, they're working with major US home builders now, but the European group, the cool thing about, and I'll have to give Jason Ballard is the CEO of Icon. I'll give him a shout out in this thing. Icon was a trailblazer. They worked on their technology and working on their technology to the point where they could get the price point down enough for the wall systems to where you don't have to stick build anymore, right? You don't have to do stuff with wood. And they got it down so cheap that it can now replace doing stick build, right? And so, but the company out of Europe, because of what Icon did, they just followed them, watched what they did. So now their development cycle is very short, because because Icon went through all the painstaking development, they can see how they were doing it. So they have matched kind of where Icon is in a very short period of time. So from a price point of what you can produce, how you can produce it out. So Icon will always be the trailblazer. I'm so thankful that they went this route. But more 3D printing companies will be available too around the world because of what Icon, right? And so it's super cool. But but you can replace it. You don't need a stick build anymore, and it's faster, and it's actually in the R value, which is is much higher. You spend less in electricity, you have less demand in those houses. It's just really, really interesting to see how they build them, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, that's quite interesting. We still use, talking about electricity, we still use a lot of electricity. So yeah.
Yeah.
Moving into solar, even the smart technology itself,
Yes.
it's something that has been transitioning, but it's been very, very, very silent on the market.
Yeah.
I've seen some people try to sell, but eventually they just give up. They just don't understand the system here. You have to be patient.
It's
People
gotta
have to
be, it's gonna
understand.
be
People
super
have to
easy.
trust you. They have to understand you. So if you come and you expect that, oh, in 2 months I'm going to be done, everyone in 2 months is still looking at you and wondering, is he going to go back? Is he for
Yeah.
real? Does this actually
Yeah.
work?
Yeah, exactly. No, but I feel you. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, that's such a good point, because any tech company's got to realize that there's going to be there's a trust factor in
Yes.
adoption of any tech, and they've got to realize that you're not going to be a fly by night. You're not going to show up and then leave, and then they're going to have this stupid system and they can't get
Yes,
into their
but
damn
yeah,
house, you
yeah.
know, because it doesn't work, right? You know, they
Yeah,
got
and that has been one of the biggest, I think one of the biggest problems is someone comes with a technology and yes, he says it's going to be affordable, but then everyone is wondering, okay, after you have built and you have gone, then what happens? How do we maintain it? How do we
right,
for
right.
it? So most of the people are looking for someone who can come in and uh,
Set up shop.
support them when it comes on even sales,
Yeah,
support them on sales. And this is what happens. If you make it for one project, you're going to make it for very many other projects, because
yeah,
then everyone is going to come for you. They're going to look at you as reliable.
yeah,
So it's different. You can't just come and throw something and then run
yeah,
away,
yeah.
because if someone hasn't seen it, then they're doubting and they're like, oh,
Yes.
so you just want to come and construct and then go. Then what happens? How do we explain to the people?
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, and it's
you
one
have
of
to,
those
if you're,
things.
yeah, set a
Yeah, it's one of,
presence there. You have to have a presence there. You have to be stable. That's fair. It's fair.
yeah,
I mean, and this is talking about commercializing in any country, right? That's, you're
yes,
to face the same things, right? If I was going to go start selling in wherever, I don't know, Israel or whatever, they would want that. They still want you to have a presence there. They want you to be, you know, the service after the sale and all the other great things, right? You have to be
yeah.
able to do
And
that.
you can't expect to do pre-sales probably on the first project you want, but
Yeah,
on the second project, definitely you will, because then people trust, people know what they're buying,
yeah,
they understand what they're buying.
right.
Then it becomes easier, but
Mhm.
usually not many people are willing to to wait.
No, I feel you. I feel you
Not
there.
many people are willing to wait, but we are here in waiting for the ones that will come, the ones who can come in and invest. It's quite interesting
Yeah,
to work here and yeah, trials of different technologies. Yes, we can get land and well, you can try something.
yeah, yeah, no, for
Yes,
sure.
which makes it easy, because there are churches, there are schools that are willing to input, because you know what, if you try it out and someone sees it and then they know this is what happens. Yes, we can use this to build schools, we can use this to build hospitals. We don't have to
Yeah,
go into the whole
yeah,
system of having to use brick and mortar all the time. That is very expensive,
yeah.
because you're doing the bricks and they have to dry, they have to, it's a whole system.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, that's interesting.
Yes,
That is so
yeah,
cool. Yeah,
yeah.
so what's the I don't know Uganda very well. So what's the largest city in Uganda? What's the name of the city?
Kampala, which
Kampala?
is the capital city.
It's the
Yes,
capital. Okay. All right.
yes, it's the
Okay.
capital city.
And
Yeah,
so is most of the population in Kampala, or is it very dispersed? What's the population?
it's very scattered. The bigger
Yeah,
population, yes, within Kampala, mainly the youth. You find very many youth within Kampala, because of
yeah,
also many schools within the the city center. But government has tried so hard to have the schools dispersed and go out of the city center. And then I think with the coming of COVID, it also helped a lot with many people who had offices and who felt they really needed to have offices within the city center. We discovered working from home. So there was
like everybody else. Yeah.
And everybody else, we tried to get it at the same time. So it has helped a lot. People have learned to work from different places. They don't have to really come to the city center. Yeah, the different platforms that have come on board, how to make it easy for supplies, demand. That has really, really, really helped decongest the city center. So many people have moved away to just go and concentrate and in different areas. So
okay, that's great. So where are you building? Is it mostly so it's all over Uganda, or where are you building housing?
We try to do we've been mainly within the city center, but we have moved into the rural areas as well. But we are still concentrating. When we go to the rural areas, we're still in the urban centers.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're still in the urban centers because that's where the most population is, and that's where people have attraction to buy. And because when you go farther off in the rural areas, people prefer to buy the bungalows. So those are going to be the standalone houses. They want to be seated on probably an acre of land.
Okay.
Because in some cities, they want to be able to dig, they want to be able to graze their cattle, they want to be able to do different things using their land. But also there's been an attraction of like, not everyone who's in the rural area will want to have their house on an acre. They will want some sort of development. But yeah, much as we might have different collaborations with different government bodies, the district bodies, the churches, the hospitals, the schools that have massive land in the rural areas. We still cannot fully fully put our hands everywhere. So it's a bit hard. You can only bite what you can chew.
Yeah, you gotta go small. So do you build out? So typically home builders will go into, we call them subdivisions in the US. And there'll be an area that is master planned where one person will come in and build the roads, build all the sewer, all that other stuff. And then the builders will come in and build maybe 20 homes or 100 homes in this one master planned community. Is that how that works there? Or are you building just onesie, twosie kind of one at a time? How are you building?
Well, what the company does is we've already bought land, so it's already demarcated. Okay. So we bank the land. So you have the land already like years ahead. So it is already marked. So what we believe in is having organized communities. So we try to make sure. So when we go in an area as national housing, when it goes into an area, we look at the development of the area. So we usually move into an area and leave a lot of development. So because we put up the estate, you take electricity, water, roads, sewer. So it's quite heavy that you have to put. So by the time you're done, even the people who are not within the estate are benefiting a lot from all the services that end up coming to the to the estate. So at least they benefit from the roads, the water, the electricity, because most of the areas will not be able to pull that.
Oh, I lost her.
Hello.
Hey, there you are. You're frozen a little bit.
Yeah.
There you are. You're back. Oh, very good.
So it happens.
Yeah, it does. It happens.
I don't know whether it's my network or your network that is being funny.
Oh, I don't know. I'm hanging out at somebody's. It might be mine.
The Kenyans are fighting, so
the Kenyans are fighting.
Our internet has been a bit slow.
The Kenyans are fighting. Really? I did not know. There you are. That's so crazy. I didn't know the Kenyans were fighting. Oh. can you hear me?
I think I had lost you for a minute.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're back. I don't know. It might be me. It might be the Kenyans or it might be me. I'm at CoreLogic today.
No, but our network has been a bit slow,
Oh,
not even because of the Kenyans fighting. It's
okay.
been, we
What's
do
happening?
connections from Kenya still, but it's,
Uh,
the network has been slow for the past 5 days.
oh, why are the
Yes.
Kenyans fighting? I didn't know they were fighting. What are they fighting?
They passed, they had a finance bill
Uh-huh.
being passed, and they did not agree to the increment of taxes. So
Oh.
they've been fighting for the past maybe 3 days. They've
So
stopped now.
protesting, or are they actually
Yeah,
shooting
well,
at
it's
people?
it's more of a protest, not a fight. That's
Okay. I
it's
was
more
like,
protest. It's more of them taking it to the streets and saying, no, we cannot accept this. So
oh, okay.
last
So
night the president had accepted not to sign the bill. So we
wow.
should be good.
Power to the people, man. That's awesome. That
To
is
the people.
gosh,
So the
that's
youth
great.
took it to the streets. They could not stand it.
Oh, wow. Well,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what the tax bracket is there, but good for them. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
been going on for just a few days. Just
Oh,
well,
okay.
3 days. It's just a few days. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
All
yeah,
right.
lots of things were destroyed. They burnt the parliament. They burnt
Oh my gosh.
our Uganda house was burnt.
Oh my
But
goodness.
I guess it will be
Yeah.
restored. Yes.
Well, we had riots too, like after the horrible thing that happened to George Floyd, and we had lots of rioting, and we've had a lot of protests around the Israel Gaza war, around Israel and Hamas,
Yeah.
and lots of they were all camping out at the universities, like doing sit-ins and not moving, and we've had a lot of that recently. So yeah, I guess it's kind of everywhere. There's a little civil unrest a little bit.
Yeah, but I guess sometimes people have to take it to the streets.
Apparently,
We
apparently.
we fight for our rights. We fight for
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it's
yes.
very
Yeah,
cool.
but yeah, now it's silent, so it's peaceful.
Yeah,
So I think yeah, they're getting back to work.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, yeah,
yeah.
I mean, well, I'm glad the president decided not to sign it. He heard the people, so that's awesome. That's very good.
Yeah, he was having it rough. I don't think they left him a choice.
Well, okay. All right. Well,
I don't think
yeah.
they left him a choice.
Ah, crazy,
Yeah.
crazy. Well, this has been such a fun conversation. I'm so glad I got to interview you. This is
Yeah,
so,
thank you,
so
thank you, thank
good.
you. This has
Yeah,
been good. We should chat more.
we should. We definitely
Yes,
should chat more. And I will definitely connect you with that 3D printing company out of Europe and see if
yes,
we can help in any sort of way.
yeah.
That would be great.
Any help that we can get, any
Yeah.
investors that are interested,
Yeah.
please send them through.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I think it's Africa is the next, I mean, great economic. It's going to be a really cool market for people, emerging market for people to invest in, and to kind of see. It's really cool to see how that's all being developed for sure.
yeah.
It's nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
and plus,
that's
I
good.
just need to go to. I just need to go to Africa. Just, I want to go
Yeah,
and go
yeah.
check out all the scenery, and I'd like to see, the animals and all the fun things you take for granted. I don't get to see them. I got to go to a zoo to see an
You
elephant.
should come. You should come. You should
Yeah.
come.
Are they like, but they're not like deer. They don't like roam the streets in the city centers, right? They're hanging out somewhere else.
No. You'd
Yeah.
have to find them in where they live. So not in the
Oh,
city.
okay. So
You have to go to
out in the
you have
plains.
to go basically to the parks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so there are certain designated parks that will have the baboons, all those animals, most of them. So yeah,
Yeah.
Queen Elizabeth, and yeah, there are different parks that you can visit that have
Yeah.
those that have the different animals, wild,
Um,
domestic. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll find the domestic ones around. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you could
Yeah.
be within the city center and see a cow cross.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I've had a farm, so cows, I'm good with cows.
Yeah, so that
I
one,
am
yeah.
from Texas, by the way, so we have cows.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
cows, horses, we're
That
good.
should be interesting.
Chickens,
You're
yeah,
good.
good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Well, thanks. So if somebody would like to get a hold of you, for, maybe they want to invest in Uganda or whatever y'all are working on, how could they do that? How could they get a hold of you?
I have my number on my LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is very active. I respond very fast, and my email is there. So yes, WhatsApp me, call me, or email me, LinkedIn,
Whatever.
whatever. You can easily get me. Follow me, connect with me. I will tell you so much more. Yes.
Yes, exactly. Well, this has been great. Thank you so much for coming on the
Thank
show.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. This is